2 weeks ago, this storyline didn't exist. Joey Logano was circling the drain, a two-time champion sitting outside the playoff cut line, staring down 45 races without a single win, written off, buried by his own fans. Then he did something nobody saw coming, and now the driver everyone counted out is sitting ahead of Bubba Wallace in the standings, and Wallace's playoff picture just got a whole lot scarier. Here's how it happened, and why the next 4 weeks might decide everything. Let's lay out exactly what changed. At North Wilkesboro, Logano didn't just win, he dominated, leading the vast majority of the laps and crossing the line nearly a full second ahead of the field. Wallace finished 6th that day. Not bad, but nowhere close to enough. 2 weeks later at Indianapolis, Logano backed it up with a third-place run. Wallace's day fell apart in a late race wreck, and he limped home 28th. Added up, in 2 races, Logano banked 57 points. Wallace's playoff cushion got shredded in the process. Right now, Logano sits 13th with a win already locked into his playoff resume. Wallace sits 14th, winless, 5 points behind him. Rewind to right after Atlanta. Logano was 17th in points. Practically an afterthought in the championship conversation. This wasn't a slow climb back into relevance. This was a 2-week explosion. And here's the part that should really worry the Wallace camp. This isn't the first time Logano has pulled a disappearing act and then rebuilt his season in the second half. Championship bursts in 2014, 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2024. Every single one of them in an even-numbered year. 3 Cup titles, all even years. 0 in an odd year. Call it a pattern, call it a coincidence. But Team Penske's short track program has quietly been one of the strongest in the garage for years, and with Iowa and Richmond both coming up before the field heads to Daytona. That's exactly the kind of terrain where Logano's team has historically caught fire. Meanwhile, inside the 23XI camp, the pressure is mounting from every direction. Tyler Reddick opened this season by ripping off 3 straight wins, proving what these cars are capable of. Then a part-time driver, Heim, jumped into a 23XI car and won the Brickyard 400, one of the biggest races on the calendar. Wallace has watched teammates and even a substitute driver find victory lane. He hasn't been there once all year. Let's break this down the way it actually deserves to be broken down, because there are 2 very different stories tangled together here. Story 1, Logano's surge is not luck. A former champion finding pace at exactly the moment his season needed saving on a track type his organization has mastered for years is a red flag for every other team clinging to a playoff spot. Momentum in NASCAR compounds. Teams that find speed in July tend to keep that speed into September. If Penske has unlocked something mechanically or strategically, that's not a one-race blip. That's a threat for the rest of the regular season. Story 2. Wallace's problem isn't speed, it's execution. Getting caught in someone else's wreck at Indianapolis isn't a reflection of pace. It's a reflection of racing position, awareness, and a small amount of bad luck at exactly the wrong time. That distinction matters. A team that's genuinely slow is in real trouble. A team that's fast but keeps getting caught in bad situations is one clean weekend away from fixing everything. But here's the danger for Wallace. The margin for that kind of bad luck is disappearing. With 4 races left before the field is locked in, there isn't room left to absorb another wrecked finish. Every incident from here forward carries playoff elimination weight. Is Wallace's approach risky right now? Somewhat, simply because it's not fully in his control. Leaning on a strong super speedway run at Daytona is a real strategy. Wallace has shown speed there before, but betting your playoff hopes on one specific race type while your closest rival is heating up on 2 straight tracks that favor him is a tightrope walk. Smart if it works, dangerous if Iowa or Richmond go sideways. The reaction from the NASCAR media world has been split right down the middle. One camp is fully buying into the Logano revival, treating this as vintage big game Joey. The guy who disappears for months and then shows up exactly when a championship is on the line. That even year pattern has become a running joke among analysts, except nobody's actually laughing because it keeps happening. The other camp is far less patient with Wallace. Fans are pointing to a talented lineup at 23XI, a 3-time race winner in Reddick, a surprise Brickyard winner in Heim, and asking a pointed question if the equipment is clearly capable of winning. Why hasn't Wallace been able to close the deal? That's the emotional tension driving this whole storyline. It's not just Logano versus Wallace on the track. It's momentum versus mounting pressure. Let's game out where this goes. Best case for Wallace: he tightens up, avoids any more late race chaos, grinds out solid top 15 finishes at Iowa and Richmond, then unleashes his super speedway instincts at Daytona for a statement finish. He claws back into playoff position on points and heads into the postseason with real momentum instead of real doubt. Worst case for Wallace: Logano's short track surge continues exactly as expected. Penske extends the points gap at both Iowa and Richmond, and Wallace is left needing a miracle at Daytona just to survive. If that happens, a team that produced multiple winning cars in 2026 could end its season with its full-time driver watching the playoffs from home. Two very different outcomes. And right now, the sport genuinely doesn't know which one is coming. So here's the real question heading into these final four races. Is this a genuine Joey Logano playoff run happening right in front of us? Or is Bubba Wallace about to remind everyone why speed still wins championships? Drop your prediction in the comments. Logano's surge holds or Wallace turns it around at Daytona? If you want the breakdown before every single one of these next four races, make sure you're subscribed, because this chase battle is only getting tighter from here.